All right, what's happening, YouTube? So y'all remember last week or the week before where I was telling you that I just wasn't feeling engaged. I wasn't feeling Love and Marriage Huntsville. Like I just haven't been in the groove of it. The storylines, like I haven't been loving it the way that I usually do. Well, last night's episode has officially got me re-engaged. So let's get into this review. I didn't take any notes. I'm gonna just freestyle this off the top of the dome. We're gonna talk. And then you guys, give me your input and comment like you guys always do under the video. Let me know your guys' thoughts. So the episode starts back up. We have the comeback group. They are talking about this event that the Scotts, Letitia and Marceau, want to do regarding this Black event, where they're going to have some type of community event where the core six are going to come and they're going to be a part of it. They're going to speak to the public, et cetera, about whatever it is that they're, putting together. And we know that the big issue, right, is that Melody, the big contentious problem is that Melody has brought up the fact that she might want to get some type of compensation. What do you guys think about that? They met, a couple episodes back where Melody brought it up and they kind of were like, okay, we're going to regroup and think about this. And so they're talking about it now. And so, Tisha and Marceau have pretty much said, okay, we are not going to provide you guys with compensation. And then, we have Kimmy and Maurice, and they're kind of like, well, look, like this just looks like a remixed version of like this doesn't seem like a Black sponsored event. It seems like a comeback group event. And they're like, look, Maurice is kind of talking about how his thoughts on like if everybody can't be there, if all six can't be involved, I don't want any parts of it because it's like a bootleg comeback group event. And the comeback group is 6 people. So Melody, which we know she has this like singing career, which, okay, Melody, I mean, you got a little bit of vocals, but it's like this singing career, unless like Timbaland produces a beat for you or Swiss Beats or something, boo-boo, like this singing career is probably never gonna happen. I like you and everything, Melody, but I almost wish you would give it up. Anyway, Melody asked the date that, Tisha and Marceau are thinking about. They tell her March 8th, and Melody's like, well, I actually think I'm gonna be opening up for Alec Bellinger that day, which, by the way, I love Alec Bellinger. If y'all don't listen to his music, please, he's like very underrated and he got all the slaps on all his albums. And he comes out with an album like every 2 weeks, kind of like how Prince did. So listen to Alec Bellinger, but she says that she's going to be opening up for him on March 8th. And so she might have a conflict, which is huge. So bravo to Melody, because that is a very, very great opportunity. So then Maurice says, well, hey, if you're going to be doing that, maybe you can video conference in and give some type of speaking engagement on like some of the real estate stuff that you do. And then immediately Tisha's like, nope, if she can't be here in person, I don't want to do it. So Melody kind of turns and looks at her and is like, everybody wants to call me difficult, but Tisha, it seems like you are the difficult one. You don't want to compensate. You don't want this. You don't want that. Now you're saying, if I can't come in person, you're not going to allow me to do like a Zoom, whatever. And she's like, how bad do you really want us to be involved? Like, I already have a prior engagement. What do you want me to do? So when she says that, Tisha's kind of like, you can see like she's kind of thinking. And again, Maurice puts the kibosh on it. He's like, look, if all 6 of us can't be there, I don't want any parts of it. And I'm glad that he said that, because it's like they need to all 6 come together on this. And obviously we know Melody is the person out of all of them that has the biggest following, the biggest fan base. She's created the most opportunities outside of the show. So naturally, if it's a comeback group thing and she's not there, it doesn't seem like it's going to go well. So, I appreciate Maurice, him saying that. And so then Melody's like, look, well, I don't even know anyway. They've all been beefing. Melody has issues for obvious reasons with Martell. With the exception of Kimmy, Melody doesn't see it for any of them. And she's like, I need to kind of like ease back into this and take baby steps. So then Marceau was like, well, this is the baby step. Like, how many more baby steps do you want? And Melody's like, well, I need to take it slow. And if you don't understand that, I don't know what to tell you. So I actually do agree with Melody on that. Literally a couple months ago, they were just beefing. Everybody was upset with Melody. Tisha said she had a dark soul. She said she was a devil in a nice little dress. And she kind of was rightfully so, because of what Melody did with bringing Kiki on the show to try to get her back. But still, you said all these things to me. We've been beefing. I need to ease into this. So I'm kind of with Melody on that. So with that being said, they ended the scene with, we still don't know what the hell they're going to do. So I guess we'll kind of see what happens with that. I don't know. And you guys, I'm going to be jumping around a little bit because, you know, there were little pockets of the episode that were interesting to me. And then we're going to get right to the end because that is what I really want to talk to you guys about. So then we have a scene where I never know what Stormy's husband's name is. I'm sorry, I forgot his name. He meets with Marceau and he's kind of just talking to Marceau about the situation with Stormy's cousin. And he's like, yeah, man, like we had to, if you guys are aware that Stormy, you know, she has this wonderful hairline business. Her cousin was like helping her and working at the warehouse. And earlier in the season, she had to let him go. So, you know, Stormy's husband is talking to Marceau about it, and he's like, man, you know, how do I handle this? Like, what do you think about this? You know, I feel really, really bad that, you know, we had to let him go, but it's hard for me because, like, he was like a brother to me. And so Marceau was like, damn, you know, that's tough. He didn't really give him any good advice, really, but he was just kind of sharing, like, it's hard to work with family. And he said, which I thought was interesting, he's like, man, I've been in situations just like you. And he was like, it's similar when I had to let Maurice go one time. Maurice was working for me, and he was like, it was around the time when he was in his, had his first wedding to his first wife, Kiowa. And he was like, you know, they just had so much drama that I had to let him go. I imagine it was probably a construction project or something. And he was just kind of saying, like, you know, just take it easy. Try to do everything you can to rectify the situation. But, you know, I can relate to you because I've been in a similar situation. So it was nice to see. I give Marceau a hard time, but I do appreciate him. I think he's very, very knowledgeable as it comes to running a business. And specifically with like construction and all of that stuff, he's a restaurateur. Even though my man went to Black a couple weeks ago, he was in Huntsville for work, and he told me that the air conditioning wasn't working in there. Y'all need to get it together over at Black. And this is a true story. This was recent. But anyway, he said it was beautiful in there. He said y'all was only serving chicken wings, but he did say the air conditioning wasn't working in Black when he went in there. He said it was very hot. But anywho, I digress. So Marceau, you know, he gave him really good insight, and so that was good to see. Now, we also see, you know, Tisha and Marceau have been building this house on this piece of land forever. They find out that it's going to take a very long, like another 2 or 3 years for the house to be finalized, their dream home. So they decide that they want to just do renovations on their current house. And so what they are doing is they're going to move into an apartment. So I thought it was weird because the apartment they went to go look at was a 2-bedroom apartment. And I know that they have at least 3 kids. So I was just like, I don't know if the 2 bedrooms going to cut it. So I think what Marceau presented an idea to Tisha, well, you and the girls could stay at the apartment and me and their son will stay at the house. And Tisha's like, hell no, you're not. She's like, look, if we're all a family, we're all going to stay in the same place. Now, let me just interject, Tisha. All 5 and 6 of y'all it's at least 3 kids. It might be 4, but I know it's at least 3. All of y'all going to be in a 2-bedroom apartment? How does that want to work? But anyway, so Marceau's rationale for like, okay, you and our daughter, when you stay in the apartment, and then you and the daughter, so I think they had 2 girls. You and the girls stay in the apartment, and then me and our son, we'll stay at the house. And he said, I'll be able to kind of do project management over the construction. I can work overnight without the foot traffic. You know, I can get a lot of stuff done, which I guess it kind of makes sense because I think their son is 16. And he could probably help. The girls are younger, so they could stay at the house with Tisha. When he kind of broke it down, I kind of understood. I think if I was Tisha, I wouldn't have a problem with that. Because, so Tisha was like, well, y'all not about to have a bachelor pad. Tisha, what you think he about to be having women over there with your son? He's not going to do that. obviously we know where this stems from. We know that Tisha doesn't trust Marceau. We have our own ideas from the past rumors that of the infidelity rumors, allegedly. And Tisha, you're showing your slip right now. The insecurity is just oozing out of you. I actually think this was, and I don't even think Marceau has a whole bunch of great ideas all the time as it pertains to like y'all's relationship, but this one kind of sounded like it would work. He could stay at the house without the younger kids there. The older son could help him fix the house up. He said he could work like overnight because he wouldn't be able to do that if he was in the apartment with you or if all of y'all were at the house. Like, so I do get his point. He was like, it could happen a lot faster and we can get back to the house. But Tisha's like, no, we're not having that. We're not going to be living separately. I'm over here and you're over there. But she said the bachelor pad kind of, I don't know. I didn't agree with that comment because I don't think that Marceau is going to use this as an opportunity to like have women over the house. And that was the implication by Tisha. So yeah, Tisha, I think that you still have some insecurities that you need to work through. I don't think I would be opposed to that because you guys were saying your time frame for fixing up the current house would be 3 to 6 months. I don't think there would be anything wrong with that. I'm sure Marceau would be spending a lot of time at the apartment. It's not like you can't just pop up at the house when you want. That man ain't going to be having no, I don't know, maybe you're worried. What you're worried about is like at night he'd be sneaking out and doing his own thing. Maybe that's what your worry comes from. I don't know. But I'm not totally opposed to his idea because if you guys want to, renovate your home as quickly as possible, it sounds like it could be a good idea. So Tisha, maybe look into that. I don't know. So that was kind of interesting to see that. But Tisha wasn't having it, so she said no, okay? So, y'all, I'm going to just go ahead, skip to the end, and get to the good part. So, we know Stormi, like I said, we talked about how Marceau had a conversation with Stormi's husband in another scene about Stormi and her husband firing their cousin. So, the cousin and his mom, I think his mom's name is Lisa, Aunt Lisa, Aunt Lisa. Aunt Lisa and Stormi's cousin come to Stormi's house, and then they have a little meeting with Stormi and her mom, Miss Bettie. Now, Miss Bettie has got an attitude problem, and I'm going to be very careful because I don't want to talk too bad about nobody's mama. Lord knows I don't, and I like Stormi. So, Stormi, I'm going to try to be as respectful in this moment to your mom as I possibly can. But your mom is ornery. She's mean. And she was dead wrong for what she did. So they're talking. It's the four of them. They're talking, and Miss Bettie, who is Stormi's mom, tells Miss Lisa, her Aunt Lisa, she pretty much is like, look, God, what is her cousin's name? I can't remember nobody's name. Is his name Jamal? I don't want to call him Jamal because I don't think that's his name. So I'm just going to continue to call him Stormi's cousin. So Miss Bettie is telling Lisa, who is her sister and that's Stormi's cousin's mom. She's like, I don't like the way that he treated Stormi when he worked there. He didn't really look out for her. He's more than a worker. He was her cousin. So he should have had a vested interest in not only the business, but the success of Stormi. And so Miss Aunt Lisa was like, well, I don't like the way you talk to my son. You said, you should have whooped him. First of all, this man is 29 years old. So for Miss Bettie to be talking about she need to give this young man a whooping is crazy. Like, stop it. Okay? Like, that's crazy. So she's like, I don't like the way you talk to my son. It's none of your business. Let Stormi and him handle it. Stay out of it, but out of it. So Miss Bettie's like, well, Stormi has done so much for him, and she even gave him $15,000 when he needed to be bailed out of jail. Miss Bettie, we didn't take us out of the group chat. We were not supposed to know that this young man was in jail. And if it was $15,000 to get him bailed out, I imagine it was more than a DUI as to the reason he was there. Miss Bettie, you don't put his business out there like that. I don't care how upset you are with the situation. Why would you do your nephew like that? So naturally, when she does that, Miss Aunt Lisa goes hamburger. Take this damn mic off of me. It reminded me of the scene where with on Escape, the Escape show, where Tasha and Tamika's mama went nuts when Tamika had dropped the bomb about Tasha taking her money. That's how Elisa acted. Elisa was like, child, take this mic off me right now. Get this shit off of me. The scene's over, finito. And, naturally, because it's like, you gonna tell the whole wide world that my son was in jail and that Stormy had to bail him out. So then she stands up. She's like, well, I ain't say shit when Stormy went to jail too. So it's like Miss Bettie telling it, Aunt Lisa telling it, everybody just talking about how everybody was in jail. So the scene just gets ugly, you guys. So Stormy's aunt, she storms out, which that would have been over. It would have been over for the whole. We had had to wrap that scene up. I would have been on my way to the house because I would have probably almost put hands on my sister had she blew it up like that about my daughter that she went to jail. Like, that's not our business. That wasn't cool. And the thing that was sad about that scene is Miss Bettie didn't give a damn. Like, she was like standing 10 toes down. Like, yeah, I said it and what? And she was like laughing about it. And Stormy, your mom is nasty. I hate to say it. Like I said, I'm not going to go in on her any more than that, because I'm certain that you're catching it on social media right now for your mom's behavior. You probably regret bringing her on the show altogether. Your mom has a nasty spirit, because I don't care how, that's her nephew too. You should love him enough to protect him and not put him out there like that. Now, that's a conversation you have separately. You don't do that on camera, because now, people probably Googling his charges and stuff like that. Why would you put that young man out there like that? It's not okay. And that's why, like, I'm very, people be like, oh, blood is thicker than water. I don't believe that. I really don't. Blood, I've had family members personally, and I'm putting a little bit of my business out there. I've had family members that have hurt me to my core far worse than any stranger or anybody, betrayed by family members. I mean, blood is not always thicker than water. And you showed that, Miss Bettie, by what you did last night. So, Stormy's, she's, and I already liked Stormy a lot, but I really respected Stormy for how she handled that. She was telling her mom, you are dead wrong. You need to go fix this. Go talk to your sister. You shouldn't have did this. And she did it in a respectful way. You can tell that she really respects her aunt and her mom, but she still told her mom, like, you're not right. This is not right. And her mom is just ornery. She didn't want to do it. Stormy's kind of like going back and forth. So her aunt went outside. By the way, Stormy, your house is beautiful. Did y'all see? It's like it's an estate. It's not even a house. She has an estate. Stormy is the one on the show with the real money. Stormy, your home is amazing. And you should be very proud of yourself for growing your empire like that and taking advantage of buying real estate that's beautiful, land for you have a son so you can, he can be the heir of all of that. I wanted to say that and commend her, because I love to see Black people, doing such good things, growing businesses, buying property and all that. So I just had to commend Stormy for what she's doing, in her personal and her business life. But anyway, so yeah, Stormy's going back and forth between her aunt. Her aunt done left, her mom, and then her mom comes outside just looking mean, and she's telling her, like, you need to fix this. And so the show goes off, and they're gonna pick it back up next Saturday when the new episode comes on. It was sad to see, but I like real situations. Reality TV has so much fluff in it nowadays, and we have so many like pre-produced scenes, and this scene was just real raw and uncut. You saw the raw emotion between, family members that are, bumping heads, and this is the reality in so many families. We have brothers and sisters that are not getting along. We have, situations between nephews and cousins and all of that. And so I can definitely resonate with this scene. And I enjoy seeing Stormy's family. Her husband was there, and he, kind of jumped in, and, to try to, talk to Miss Bettie. Like, come on now. Like, he seems like he has a calming energy, but it didn't work. Because Miss Bettie wasn't trying to hear it. And Stormy, your mama is mean. She's mean as hell. That's a mean lady. And so, Stormy, Miss Betty, you need to do better. But anyway, so yes, that part of the episode, that last like nugget of 12 to 15 minutes was very, very good and engaging. And I'm excited to see the next episode because I want to see, where this storyline goes. And I pray that they can fix it because that situation is sad. And yes, Miss Betty, you should be ashamed of yourself. You don't do that. I don't care how mad you get, family members. That is a conversation that you have behind closed doors. You don't ever, in front of the entire freaking world, or how many viewers the show gets, you don't do that and put them out there like that. That's not cool. You should be ashamed of yourself. And hopefully, this was probably months ago. Hopefully you have apologized by now. But anyway, all right, you guys, enjoy the rest of your Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers. And we will pick this back up next week when we go and we see kind of like hopefully we get some resolution with the comeback group, because I want them, like, are y'all doing the event or not? Like, who's coming to the event? I saw on some of the blogs that the event did happen, but I'm curious to see, like, was Melody there? Was it all of the six? Hopefully we'll have our answer, next Saturday. And then we want to hopefully see some positivity come out of the situation with Stormy and her family. So yes, I hope you guys enjoyed my review. Please like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys next week. Bye-bye.